Sorry, I just had a note to ask if I was recording, and I wasn't recording. So there's the prizes that you get on the ground and the prizes that you get online. It's not just about the prizes, though. Obviously, it's about making a spectacle, getting the car out there on the road, getting people taking photos, finding new people, and showing them ideally, the website, what we're all about, what they can do to become part of it. And hopefully we'll see some new people joining the Telegram, and new people for you to talk to. 1 second, let me just message one back. Do we have any questions in the group? So it looks like Shadows is dealing with the question from Mohammed. So the other thing to talk about today is you've all seen the market completely crash, and what I want to say is like a massive thank you to the community and you guys, is that we've all learned together, really, because I mean, some of us, I'm not like totally new to crypto, but I'm not, it's all, some of these things is all new to us. And one of the things that you're always told, and that people emotions get in the way of it, is buy low and sell high. Don't start selling as soon as the market starts bleeding, because it's the same for all the currencies and all the tokens at the same time. Although they all go on rallies and have their own crashes, generally there's a market sentiment that ties it together. And if you sell when the market's dropping, all you're doing is just throwing away your dollar amount. It's a great time to buy in when it's down like this. I know that's easy to say, and I'm not saying that you should all just spend all your money. I know that I haven't, but I chucked in like $20 earlier just because BNB's down. All the time that BNB's down and we make a sale that takes us ahead of BNB, then when BNB bounces up, it means that we go ahead of it more than just being tied to it. And that's the same on the way down. So I'm not, not just selling it that way, but it's great to see that we've got really steady hands. It's amazing, really. We've totally shaken out all the people that panic, and we've got, people that are selling a little bit when they've been bought at the bottom, and that's fine. People do that. There's always going to be traders. So that's today, but just don't panic about what you've seen. I mean, lots of people speculating. You've got El Salvador have taken on Bitcoin as a mode of payment in their country. They're giving $30 worth of it to everybody in the country. I think the system broke. And then there's just big sell-offs, and then you get the usual news from China saying that they're banning this and banning that. It's all just, just don't worry about what you read. And if the market all goes at the same time, or the only reason you would ever panic is if you genuinely think the whole thing's going to zero. Which it isn't. You only have to zoom out on any chart to know that it's not. So that's that. The other thing is just recaps of the messages, really. But if anybody has any specific questions, then obviously chuck them in the chat. Mailing list had its first mail out on Sunday. I guess it's less for you guys who do tune in and listen to the AMAs. But if you do have any friends that want to know about it, and they don't want to join Telegram, or they don't want to get in the AMAs, or some people are just shy. If you sign up with the mailing list on the website at stopelon.space, it's just under the main banner. Just tell them to chuck in an email address. We're not going to spam. We're going to send out one email a week. You might get a second one if there's an important, urgent message that we need to get out. But we sent out the first one, and I just did a little recap about things about the tour, about NFTs, that kind of stuff. And I'll do that every week. We'll summarize the AMAs, any big things that have happened, on the Telegram and just out there in general. We'll get summarized for the mailing list. So you can sign up at stopelon.space. It's all GDPR compliant. It's really easy for you to opt out later. If you don't want it anymore, you can just hit unsubscribe at the bottom of the email addresses. I'll also, every time I do an email, we'll put the link up to that email, because they're always stored online. You can read them in a browser as well. So it's a great link to share around once they go up, because people can click that link, read it, they can look at the archive of mailing lists, of mail outs, and they can also subscribe from that page. So if you do see us sharing around those links, then please retweet them. Speaking of which, retweets is a big thing Especially if you've got some followers on Twitter. I know a lot of us have joined. I used to have a Twitter page with loads of followers, and I deleted it because I got sick of Twitter, which is a bit of a shame now. So I started another one, but obviously I control the Stopelon Twitter. If you do see things, even if you've only got 1 or 2 followers, please do retweet them, because it just shows as a figure that goes up, and the next person comes along and they think, oh, how come this thing's got 30 retweets, 50 retweets, 100 retweets? You know, the more that we can add to that each time, the more chance there is of somebody with a bigger follow account, you know, just following suit because they're interested, because it looks like lots of other people are interested. Social media is just a huge thing, and especially Twitter for crypto, because Twitter's just that one place where you have the chance of getting in front of someone's eyes where you wouldn't normally be able to do it. You know, Instagram's a little bit similar, TikTok even more so at the moment, but Twitter's great for just kind of invading people's lives a little bit without going over the top. It's quite easy to get people seeing what you're doing. Other stuff, as we said before, if you haven't looked at the website in a while, it really has come a long way. And Shadows just works just constantly on it. He honestly deserves a massive round of applause for it. Every time something happens, he's updating it. Every time someone gives him an idea, he's doing it. You know, a couple people asked for it to be slightly less Elon focused, so we made like the main landing bit more generally about market manipulation. And you have to scroll down now to see more about Elon and all of that. He's added the NFT farm pages. He recorded those tutorial videos himself. They're great to watch, and he's always about in the chat if anyone needs any help with the NFTs. Speaking of which, you can now farm for silver and gold on the farm for June's NFTs. An apology to anybody who was hoping to get airdropped them. It's just the Ethereum network has just completely priced us out, and we're not the only ones that have been priced out by it. It's just got to a point where it's ridiculous. You know, there's so many people speculating, and all this whole thing with the mad art NFTs and all of that. It's pumped the price up for just transferring something so high that we just can't do it. So the NFT farm was the best solution to be thought of. It's a way for people to get their NFTs, and the people that are really bothered about their NFTs. You know, the people that are still holding. So sorry, really, if you couldn't get them the way that you wanted to, but it's something that we worked out, and then going forward, this is how we're going to do it. From what I understand, Diamond is still going to be airdropped. If the prices drop to anywhere helpful, we'll go back down to gold and silver as well. But at the moment, it's just Diamond. But if you do have any questions about that,
it's Diamond. It's Diamond and gold. That's going to be airdropped. Silver is just farmable. And the main thing is because like Aaron is selling you guys, Ethereum G-Wave prices are way out of hand at the moment. Even before, when we didn't have such a big price, I think Daniel paid like 12 G-Wave or 20 G-Wave for the May NFTs. And even then, it was around 2 or 3 or 3 to 4 BNB just to do the airdrops, and we weren't even able to do them all because the stone ones were left behind a bit, and we had a form that you needed to fill in afterwards. But even then, even with 12 to 20 G-Wave being paid on May, it was around 3 or 4 BNB, and that's a lot. If you look at even when BNB price is down, that's still a lot. So for the current G-Wave prices, if we were lucky, like if it was done on a cheap days now are like 79.84 G-Wave. So that would mean around 10 or 12 BNB just to airdrop the top 3, the top 4 tiers, and not mention stone. So it's a lot of costs, and it's something that we don't want to be withdrawing from the marketing wallet at this moment where prices are still going up again. And that's one thing that people mentioned on the main chat and on the old chat as well, is like, can we pay for our gas prices? And what we're doing now is like, actually, when you're staking and when you're paying 0.01 BNB to withdraw your NFTs, you're actually helping us pay for the gas price like you want it, and like most people wanted it to be. So it's a small transition, and we know it's a bit of a harsh one. Like in just 1 month, we need to change everything. But as you can see, we're still doing June NFTs at the moment, and we're already at September. So if we don't do that step now, then it's going to be even worse in the future, and then it's going to be even less time for you to farm your NFTs if we have to speed up the farming of the other months. One thing that was asked as well is like, can't we just add June and July and the farm at the same time? But since we have the tiers, that would be unfair to the people holding less tokens. Because if a guy is holding tokens enough for a stone, if we put June and July at the same time, they will have to pick between June or July. They cannot withdraw both because they won't have enough points. So we found it better to do like 20 to 30 days for each month. We're going to be finishing up the June NFT farming on the 20th of September. And then after that, we're going to move to July for 20 days, August for 20 days, September for 20 days. By the end of the year, maybe on December, we will actually have December NFTs being farmed on December.
Amazing. Question from Carrie there. So if I understand correctly, you can get reflections or you can farm for NFTs, but you can't get reflections when you're farming, right? I'm pretty new to this. What are the benefits of getting NFTs? Carrie, that is right. When you stake your tokens, you're essentially handing them over to a wallet which isn't yours. So you won't reflections the time that they're in the time they're in the wallet. The benefit of getting the NFTs is that they are they're collectible. You know, that there's something to have. They may, you know, if they're to have any value in future, it will be because people want them. And as far as we're concerned, you know, that's what we're aiming for. You know, Stopelon will be so popular or so well known that people will be like, how do we get those NFTs that only a few people got at the beginning? So, you know, it's never a promise, but that's what we're aiming for. And aside from that, it's just cool. I think in terms of, you know, you're making that choice as to whether you're going to get the reflections for that period of time. So, and it's only on the amount of that you're staking for that period of time. So without doing us down too much, you know, the amount of volume that we have at the moment, it's worth just staking for those NFTs and getting those NFTs in your wallet before we start hitting loads of mad volume, and you'd miss out on a lot of reflections. But at the moment, it's a great time just to get as many of them as you can, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we've seen on the weekend, we had who was it? Was it Pavel and one more person was looking for the May NFTs, and they were willing to pay like $25 for a stone one for May, $50 for a bronze one for May, and I think they already were able to pay that. So if even if the NFTs are not interesting to you as collectibles in the long term, they will earn some value by rarity, because the people that are in the project now may not be the same people that will be in the project in 4 years, and they won't, the people that will join in 2 or 3 months will not have the May NFTs. So the more you try to farm the earlier ones, those are pretty much the ones that are going to get more value. And I think that's going to happen with June as well, because even with a lot of people seeing the announcement and staking, it's still a small portion of the holders. So maybe May, June, July NFTs will be some of the rarest in the future, and that's what usually drives NFT prices up in the long term. So if you want to maybe get some cash from the NFTs in the future, I would say stake now, even if you don't get reflections for 20, 15, 20 days, it might be worth for the future if you want to sell them.
He said, so this is like Pokemon cards for grown-ups, to which I say yes.
Pretty much.
But Pokemon cards are for grown-ups too, aren't they?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Rod, I just went over stuff to do with the tour, how we're starting on the 10th and 11th, that we're going to be, in Holland. I went over that. A little bit about the market state at the moment today. I don't know if you have any. I talked a bit about the website. I don't know if you've got anything.
The website for the tour is being worked on as well, so very soon we will have it up. Shadows is working with Dave on that part, on having the giveaways and the mechanism that will do the draws in the future. So as soon as we have like every specific date for the tour, which is something that Don is working on, and with Daniel to make it possible so that they can join. If they might join in Holland and Paris, for example, because we're gonna have Stig Elan driving the GTR around the cities, so they have to pretty much plan all the schedule, have all the dates set. As soon as they have the date set, we will have a hot site up with a link on the main website, and from there we'll be able to. Everybody will be able to join the giveaways, not the team, but the members. We'll be able to join the giveaways for each market cap, and I think that's going to be a great thing for everyone, even at home, to be able to join. I know I wanted to be there, and I'm not going to be able to because of COVID. So it's great to know that a lot of people will be following from home and will be able to participate in the draws, and that's something that makes everybody feel part of it. And I think that's the main thing that we want as well, is to thank everybody by having the tour be a nice moment in the meantime that we wait for voting trust news and everything else. So that's mostly for all of you guys, and not just for the token itself.
Sorry for late.
Hello,
Hey,
Mr.
hey.
Eddie. So yeah,
Sorry.
that's pretty much it for the tour. I know Aaron discussed a bit in the beginning, but we weren't recording, so just a small recap of how it's going to be as well. I wanted to join just to record, but my computer didn't want to cooperate, so I joined a bit later.
I've not started one before, so I didn't realize there was a separate button to make it record.
Yeah, it should be a button next to the microphone button, but they didn't do that.
Yeah. Oh, I've got it going now. And you mentioned the voting trust. So just to recap for people that didn't hear it last week, because the news came in at the end, I did put it on the mail out on Sunday, which I mentioned to everybody earlier. But Devacor did have a meeting with Wes at the lawyers. They were talking about allocating extra resources now into investigating how to make everything SEC compliant. SEC being the regulators in the US, because the company or the legal entity that is being set up to deal with this is going to be in the US, and obviously because Tesla is in the US, everything needs to be compliant with the SEC. So the law firm are putting extra people on that aspect of it, because that's where the main, that's where the law comes in. Really, is they can construct something, but they need to make sure that it's all in tune with that. Devco also said that he'll be bringing Daniel in on some of his calls with the team, with the law team, just so there's a wider representation from Stopelon at the law firm, strength in numbers and everything like that. That was the two main things from that. I don't think there was anything else from that, Rod.
No, I think that's pretty much it. And as we mentioned in the earlier AMAs from last week, the law firm is actually setting up a company to handle the voting trust, because it's growing into something so big for them that they actually need to set up a company to help us manage it. And in the future, if it really works, which is something that we all wish for it to work, it's going to be the best outcome to have someone specifically working on that and helping everything work properly on the voting trust side, so that we can get to our goal of helping stop market manipulation, starting with Elon and going to other targets as well in the future. Because that's the thing about voting trusts. We are focusing on Tesla shares now, but if we want to focus on Amazon shares in the future, we can. If we want to focus on eBay shares in the future, we can. If at some point in the future Binance gets an IPO and we can buy Binance shares and put them on the voting trust, that's something possible as well. So for everyone wondering, like, oh, are you stopping on Elon? If Elon stops tweeting, what will you do? We have other people that do market manipulation and even live manipulation with several people's lives, like workers. So we can focus on other subjects in the future as well. And the voting trust will allow us to do that.
I should note, since you mentioned some other companies, including one in particular, if you see any more copycats online, they are nothing to do with us. Even if they look like they have perhaps the exact same wording as some of our documents, they are absolutely nothing to do with us. We only run Stopelon. It is a team that's dedicated to working on this. If there's copycats out there, I mean, who knows? It could be people. You get a lot of copycats out in crypto land. This is why you get baby, Doge, rocket, moon, come, every combination possible. People have cottoned on to what we've done, and some more and more people are starting to do copycats of this kind of thing. Which is why we say we're the first protest token, the original protest token. Just be careful. Just be careful out there, especially if you get messages from people saying that they're to do with us, to do with this team. They're absolutely not. They might be safe, they might not, but we can't give you that guarantee.
Yeah, and we saw it happen several times. We saw it happen with some Tesla focus tokens, some Amazon focus tokens, and most of them are just gone. They didn't have the dedication needed to actually have a protest token be still active after some months. And we're the only ones right here doing this every single week, having 2 AMAs a week, and still trying to have the project happen. Some people just give up and then they are just gone, and that's where usually the copycats are going. They're just abandoning the projects and not going further. But we are actually having our legal team work and everything be set up so that we have the voting trust ready for our next steps in the roadmap. So I think that shows how dedicated we are and how active we are to make Stopelon happen.
Yeah, great. I don't know if anybody's got any questions, but if not, I think we can wrap it up. Pavel is typing. we'll wait a moment just in case.
He stopped.
It's going to be like K all over again.
Now he's typing again. Okay, let's wait. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them off on chat or send them in private to us if you don't want your questions to be doxed. But we keep an archive of questions as well if they are done after the AMAs or after some of us are not online anymore. Please do ask them, and as soon as we can, we will be answering them either on the main chat or even saving them for the next AMA. In the near future, we will be able to meet the dev. Daniel is usually on the voice chats at least once a week. He was here last week, and he was here on a Sunday AMA that we did after we lost the old group. So Daniel is pretty well known with his French accent, and Don usually pops up on chat, not on voice chat, but on the regular chat as well. And they are the main co-founders, and they are always around. And we keep in contact with them pretty much 24/7 as a team. So I don't know if they're going to be doxxed anytime soon because they have real life jobs that might be compromised if they dox. So that's why they are not doxing themselves currently. But most of the team, most of the remainder of the team is doxed, and we keep a good line of contact with them, so everything is safe. You're welcome. So guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to pop them up on chat. We'll be seeing you guys again on Friday. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for helping Stopelon grow into something bigger than ourselves. Have a good week, everybody.
See you later.
Bye-bye.